Hello guys, welcome to the movie recap review. Happy watching.
In a post-apocalyptic Australia, much of the land has turned into desert wasteland, but a tribe known as the Vuvalini of the Many Mothers survives in a hidden oasis. One day, while gathering peaches, young Furiosa and her friend Valkyrie witness marauders attacking and slaughtering a horse in their oasis. To protect their sanctuary, Furiosa instructs Valkyrie to hide while she attempts to sabotage the marauders' motorcycles. However, she is captured when the gang discovers her. Furiosa's mother, Mary, and her friend Elsa pursue the gang, managing to kill some members but not the one holding Furiosa. The remaining gang member takes Furiosa to their camp led by the ruthless Dementis. Just before revealing the oasis location, Furiosa kills him. Dementis, who lost his own children in the apocalypse, decides to bring Furiosa back to his camp. During a sandstorm, Mary infiltrates the camp, frees Furiosa, but they are recaptured by Dementis and his gang. Dementis brutally tortures Mary in front of Furiosa to extract the oasis location, but Mary dies without revealing it. Furiosa, left with only a seed from the peach tree as a reminder of home, falls silent and refuses to speak for years. Furiosa remains captive under Dementis, who disturbingly regards her as his daughter. She is forced to witness the gang's growing brutality, such as when they corner a smaller group and coerce them to join through a deadly ritual. The smaller group's leader is chained to 5 motorcycles, and the rest must fight for a place on one of them to avoid death. After 5 victors secure their spots, they drive off and gruesomely tear apart their former leader. Later, Dementis and his gang encounter a brain-damaged war boy wandering the desert, clearly wounded from a past battle. The war boy mentions his home in the citadel, abundant with water and food. While inspecting the war boy's belongings, they accidentally trigger his flare gun, dyeing Dementis' beard red, a peculiar moment that amuses Dementis greatly. Dementis and his enormous gang storm the citadel, a fortress built within rock formations that pumps clean, fresh water from beneath the surface into a cistern at the top. Dementis attempts to incite the people against their leader, Immortan Joe. However, Joe, with the aid of the People Eater and his sons Rictus and Scrotus, mocks Dementis. Joe's war boys, his loyal soldiers, hurl explosives at Dementis' gang from above and use cranes to hoist away many of their vehicles. Defeated, Dementis retreats with his remaining forces, but begins to surveil the citadel. Dementis learns that the citadel trades food and water for gas from nearby Gastown, and bullets from the nearby bullet farm. He and his forces manage to overtake one of the citadel's transport trucks, known as a war rig, en route to Gastown. Using the war rig to infiltrate Gastown, Dementis soldiers ambush its forces, open the gates, and enable Dementis to take control. As the new leader of Gastown, Dementis negotiates with Immortan Joe, using the threat of a remote detonator to ensure his safety. Joe agrees to increase water and food supplies to Gastown in exchange for Furiosa, valued for her rarity as a healthy woman, whom he hopes to have as a breeder, and the organic mechanic, known for his medical skills. Dementis initially refuses, adamant that Joe will not separate him from his daughter. However, Furiosa breaks her silence for the first time in years, asserting that she is not his daughter, and expresses a desire to join the Citadel. Reluctantly, Dementis accepts the deal. Furiosa eventually escapes from the room where Joe keeps his enslaved wives and breeders. Disguised as a boy, she integrates into Scrotus' team, working on building new vehicles and more deadly war rigs. Years pass, and Furiosa has grown into a skilled young adult, earning respect as a valuable member of Joe's crew due to her mechanical prowess. Despite her mute facade, Furiosa secretly plans her escape to return home. Praetorian Jack is Joe's top driver, renowned for never losing a war rig during transport. As he embarks on a crucial run to Gastown and the Bullet Farm, Furiosa clandestinely boards the war rig by strapping herself to its undercarriage. The journey is interrupted when the war rig is attacked by a gang once allied with Dementis but now exiled from Gastown. A fierce battle ensues, with the gang employing gliders and flying vehicles against Jack and his crew. In the aftermath, Jack and Furiosa emerge as the lone survivors. Initially at odds, Furiosa attempts to steal the war rig, but Joe simply throws her off the vehicle and leave. He returns and they eventually converse, and Jack proposes an unexpected alliance. He offers to mentor Furiosa as his apprentice, teaching her everything he knows about vehicles and combat. This training would empower her to stage a successful escape when the opportunity arises. Recognizing the chance for freedom and advancement, Furiosa agrees to Jack's proposition. As more time passes, Furiosa rises to become a Praetorian, second only to Jack, whom she has grown to love. One night, atop a hidden crag at the Citadel, Jack expresses his belief that Furiosa is ready to break free. He confides that supporting her aligns with his parents' belief that fighting for a cause is paramount, and he sees this as his own purpose. Jack then asks if he can accompany Furiosa on her escape, to which she agrees. During their next mission to the Bullet Farm, the leader, the Bullet Farmer, informs them that Gaston is unraveling, and suggests that they strike Dementis while he's distracted by the turmoil. Arriving at Gaston, they find the community in chaos, exacerbated by Dementis' poor management despite incoming food shipments. As they unload supplies, Dementis appears and calls for a meeting with Joe and the Bullet Farmer to discuss restoring order. He deliberately incites a riot among the citizens, forcing Furiosa and Jack to narrowly escape with their lives. Upon reporting the unrest in Gaston to Joe, he summons the Bullet Farmer to the Citadel, where they, along with Joe's sons and advisors, deliberate on their course of action. They ultimately decide to attack Dementis, ordering the Praetorians to gather all the ammunition they can from the Bullet Farm. Furiosa and Jack seize this opportunity to plan their escape during the mission to the Bullet Farm. However, upon their arrival, Dementis launches a surprise attack, anticipating their move. He swiftly takes control of the Bullet Farm, resulting in a fierce battle, where the war boys are quickly overwhelmed, and Jack becomes trapped inside. Despite Jack urging Furiosa to flee, she adamantly refuses to leave him behind, and joins him in the heart of the conflict. Together, they manage a daring escape from the Bullet Farm against all odds. Enraged by Furiosa and Jack's defiance, Dementis and his forces capture them. Unaware of Furiosa's true identity due to her growth since their last encounter, Dementis chains her up, and cruelly executes Jack by dragging him to his death behind a motorcycle, then feeding his remains to his vicious bloodhounds. During this horrifying spectacle, Furiosa manages to saw off her handcuffed arm, sabotage Dementis' vehicles, and make a daring escape. Furiosa returns to the Citadel, potentially aided by Mad Max Rokatansky, who observes her journey across the desert. She recounts the harrowing events to Immortan Joe and the Bullet Farmer, vowing to personally seek vengeance against Dementis for the atrocities he committed. As war rages under the leadership of Scrotus, Furiosa constructs herself a mechanical arm and ventures to the front lines. There, she witnesses Scrotus emerge victorious, despite Dementis' forces being defeated and Dementis himself escaping into the desert. Driven by relentless determination, Furiosa pursues Dementis into the harsh desert landscape, systematically eliminating his remaining allies until he stands alone. Waking one morning to find himself vulnerable, his supplies destroyed and weapons rendered useless, Dementis faces Furiosa in a final confrontation. After a brief struggle, he recognizes her true identity. Welcoming her with disturbing enthusiasm as his daughter, Dementis declares that Furiosa will inherit his legacy of bloodlust and vengeance, but she vehemently rejects his ideology. As Furiosa interrogates him, she presents several potential fates for Dementis. One ending has her simply shooting him dead, while another mirrors the torment he inflicted on Mary and Jack. However, the film's narrator reveals Furiosa's version of events. She brings Dementis back to the Citadel. There, she plants a peach tree seed inside him. The seed germinates and grows violently, bursting through his stomach and producing new fruit from his broken body. The film concludes with Furiosa smuggling Immortan Joe's wives into her war rig, determined to liberate them from the Citadel's tyranny.
And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.